Sorry, I've been wanting to say that. Shift Nation, shifters. It is honestly, it's such a good day for us today. We don't do a lot of interviews because we want to, but we just we struggle to tee them up. So when they do happen, and it is something that people we want to talk to, it's an amazing day. Our guests today are none other than SWIDT. Homach Pakapaki for SWIDT. We have Spike and Emma in studio right now. Toko Usos.
Morena. I'm not gonna let that roll off your tongue. Like, that shook me. You've been training. Pause. You've been training.
How are we, brothers? It's great to have you guys in here this morning. Obviously, there's a whole bunch going on with this month for music, but how are you boys outside? Because there's a whole bunch we need to talk about. Actually, for everybody who doesn't know, I'm going with assumed knowledge because obviously Jordan and I, Marc, we're big fans of you guys, have been for a long time. But for anybody who doesn't know about you boys, if everybody doesn't know about SWIDT, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow. This guy's our walking biography.
Nah, we're just some kids from Onehunga, Onehunga 312.
Baby.
All day.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
Man. And yeah.
Yeah, just we pretty much just grew up on the kind of same block, intersecting streets, Church Street and Alpha Street. Yeah, just always had a passion for music. This guy, older brother, was in a group called RES, who was signed to Dawn Raid back in the days. So he kind of had exposure to the decons, all of that at his crib. He sort of got put onto the game in terms of how to make beats, how to rap and that kind of stuff. And we were just little followers, just doing regular type kid shit, playing sports and all that. This guy was making beats, and I guess hanging out with him, sort of rubbed off on us pause, and then we just started making music.
Rubbing off was
I
crazy.
I know
It's early, brother.
I know it's hard to start with hey boys, who are you guys? So definitely what they're saying, and I guess if you're listening to this, your international audience, or you're not quite aware of music down here, these guys, I would say, our generations. Me personally, I think they're our best rappers. They're our best artists from our gen. And it's just such a privilege to have you guys in studio. A lot of people don't know, but I remember you guys. We went to the same school. We were in the same year.
Facts.
And I always tell people,
you guys at the same school?
They didn't ask.
Yeah.
Yes, my guy.
Then he bounced though. He ditched us.
What was Jordan like at school? Let's start there.
No. Let's go there.
It was funny. It was cool, man. Yeah, it was funny.
Class
We're
clown.
in the same maths class.
Yes.
I feel like Jordan, he always had that main character syndrome.
Still does.
Still does. He was always destined for great things.
Facts.
And here we are.
Oh my gosh! You know why I struggled that? Because I definitely feel like, and this is what I'll put back on you guys. I definitely felt like in my formative years, I was trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? I was trying to figure it out. Who am I? What am I? What am I into? But I tell people when I say that, because they don't actually ask, I like to tell them. You guys, I felt like there was already a sense of the essence of even what you are now and was there from so young. You guys were so cool without trying to be cool. I never really felt like it was you can't sit with us. It was just more this is us. You know what I mean? I remember even the other, I remember Grayson and Cody and different dudes, but they were the first to have the little MP3.
Oh, I believe it.
Bluetooth ones that only fitted 26 songs from Countdown you could buy, and I always felt like they were you were already into music, you were already well thought out. I felt like you understood culture, and maybe it was the influences from music. Amon, you having the cons and that around. What was that like? Kind of being immersed in iconic rap and music artists from New Zealand from a young age. What did it kind of teach you?
I think, that taught me that there was something, it was almost like a message. I guess it was the universe saying, "Bro, this is you. This is you right here," right in the next room, and up next to my bedroom. So they were all making music in there, my brothers and RES and some other artists like Decons and stuff like that. They would have been in the room next to me. And then I would be in my room man, what's going on in there? It sounds like a party. It sounds something's happening in there. And then when they would leave, I would sneak in there and then I'd see turntables and beat machines and bro, just endless, endless of like refill paper with like, you know, just verses written on it, crossed out, you know, screwed up and
Would
stuff
you
like
read
that.
them?
Yeah, I couldn't read most of it because you know the hand style, like the tagging kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right, and I was just a kid, like, man, what? It was all like in code, like almost, you know, and I had to figure it out myself. And then I think one day I was just like, man, I want to give this a go. I want to like try write something, and I thought it was cool. I thought it was so cool, like rhyming words, you know.
Yo.
And then I felt like I was more curious about it, and I just wanted to keep learning and learning. And then that's how I figured out, man, this is my passion. And yeah, and then so I took it with me everywhere I went, and went to school, met this dude. Bro, I took my beats. I took my beats and I was playing them in the library. And this dude came up to me. Bro, he came up and he was like, I think he was doing a school talent. Maybe you're gonna do a rap in front of the.
See, that's main. How was that? That's
He
main
was like, bro,
character
can you
vibes.
make me a
That's
beat?
main
Can you
character
make me a
vibes right
beat?
there.
Like 50 Cent. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll try. And then yeah, after that, just this dude just kept coming over, and like we used to vibe out in my room. Pause. And,
See, I'm not gonna lie. I remember before me and him like linked up. Pause. I used to walk past his crib because it was on the way to the dairy.
Yeah.
And there was times I walked past and like my record and shit is outside, like, you know, just having a
That's dope.
And like at that time, Dawn Raid was like,
It was
you
up
know,
there.
the pinnacle. And I just remember, like, oh fuck, that's my record. And I was like, you know, he lives there. And I'll see this guy on a step with his brothers and that. And it was crazy when we just crossed paths and that. And then sort of been exposed to that myself in terms of music. Do you guys know like the MPC?
Yeah.
It's like that old like beat pad thing.
Yes.
I remember this guy used to have it at his house and stuff like that, and I'd be like, "What's that, bro?" You know, back in those days, because you gotta kind of think like you know, Dawn Raid, Nisha Mystic,
Yeah.
Scribe, and that. They were kind of like I know there's OGs before them, but for me, that's when I really was like, "Damn, we got talent here." Like, you know what I mean? I'm listening. I'm into this music. It was like there wasn't really like a blueprint or a pathway for me. I felt like in the music space until they came out.
100%.
Because like, you know, growing up, it's like you want to be an All Black. You know, you want to play for the Warriors. You want to play for the Kiwis and that. It's like we've already seen people in our community. They've already like, you know, taken that path, and it's kind of like there's a blueprint there. Oh yeah, this is what I got to do to follow in those footsteps. But for music, there was nothing.
100%.
And so it was kind of like this guy had a little bit of a, you know, insight into a path there. And then sort of just like us being, you know, homies with him, we got exposed to that too. And I was like, all right, this is how we got to, you know, sort of navigate moving forward.
I think that's what I appreciate about your guys' music so much. And I'm not even saying you were trying to necessarily continue that on, but I think in a natural way you did. Because, you know, when we talk about Scribe, Decepticons, Nisha Mystic, Homebrew, D-Dot, like, those are some of my favorite years of music. But what I love is that they were able to interpret lingo and language that we understood, and they had it popping. It was vibing.
I was in the pocket.
And I feel like you guys, your production level, content, bars, you've been able to tell our story in a cool way too, and have us vibing on something. Was that something you always wanted to kind of continue on, or did it just feel like a natural progression for you?
I felt like that wasn't, it wasn't like premeditated or nothing. Was kind of just like, you know, to be honest, like as, you know, young males, you know, we don't know how to express ourselves. We never been taught that. It wasn't role model to us. And I felt like for me, in writing raps, it was real therapeutic. Like, it's not therapy, obviously, you know, that's different, but it was therapeutic for me in terms of expressing myself in a way that I couldn't do it to someone else. And just naturally, I guess, social commentary, I feel like that's, you know, it's kind of our thing, just touching on what we, you know, what we've experienced, what we see in the hood, things that we're into. Yeah, it's just like, I feel like when you're a fan of something so much, you just digest everything in that culture.
What was a powerful song for you growing up, or social commentary that
Bro,
you felt from an artist that was like, man, I want to be able to do that one day?
Bro, Tupac all day. Like, I know these guys clown me sometimes. They're like, oh, Tupac, you know, like.
No, Tupac on.
But like, real talk, man. Like, that was the first time that I connected to, you know, someone through music who I didn't know, never met. His story where he comes from totally different to where I come from. Yet there was like a common like space where,
Understanding.
A rhythm there.
yeah,
that
where
could
you
catch.
could kind of understand of like growth, going through ups and downs. Like it wasn't always pretty, and I think I respected the raw emotion that he displayed in his music, whether it was showing him in a good light or a negative, and yeah, for me it's just that's like human music, eh?
What about you talk about how it was therapeutic to find to get your feelings out and being able to express it in your art. Have you, and in the same way you just described what Tupac made you feel, have you had the feedback about how your music and how your storytelling has made others feel, like especially within the community? Because I find with what we're doing with this podcast, it's crazy how many people will message you and just say, oh man, the way you said that, or this has made me think this, or this has changed our relationship. Do you guys get any feedback when it comes to your music?
Yeah, personally, I've had like some solid experiences like that. Like, man, just going to the night market or something, and someone's just like, someone bumps into you like, oh man, yeah, this is my favorite song. Like, it changed my life. I was going through a hard time, and it kind of like, you kind of see yourself in a different light, because that's not something you think about every day. Like, I don't wake up every day thinking I'm gonna change someone's life today, because it's like a selfish thing, like I'm making this music to please myself, to do all of that. But like when someone explains to you how much you've affected their life, it's kind of like you have a perspective of their perspective, and then you look at yourself in like a 3D kind of light.
Yeah,
it's quite moving. Yeah,
and I think it's cool because for me, I grew up on the East Coast. I would listen to Tupac and Biggie. That was my thing. But it was also, I came from a Pākehā family with and I was brought up really, really well. And they listened to country music, and so it was this combo. But here was me being rebellious. But in all honesty, like what you guys create and what you've created, to me, is like a proud representation on a world stage. And I'd encourage any world listeners who are listening right now, listen to SWIDT, and that is a perfect example of what New Zealand hip hop is all about, and especially our culture.
Solid, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
But without a doubt, and just off the back of that, so when you guys came in, because I remember when I listened for the first time, and it was like you just smacked us in the face. It was with Conquer, who run it. It was there, and we couldn't miss it. Did you guys know what you were doing at the time? Like, it was
That's what I mean, yeah.
like
No
from
way.
3-1, like everything was just right there. Then you're at, I can vividly remember the music awards. Like you guys were up on stage, like I can remember that. But in that time, you guys don't, it was just happening for you, or you were like, no, this is our statement. We're here to stay.
I feel like in that particular, like we've been making music before that, but I feel like everything just aligned at that particular time.
I felt like we needed it too as consumers.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro,
I don't know what it was, but there was something.
There was
I don't want to
no,
say
there was
it was
no one
missing.
giving us nothing.
Bro, that
was
was
so hard.
That was the David.
Tamalolo with the ball, and nobody stopping it. I was like, oh,
We about to conquer it, bro. I was in there doing Ric Flairs. I was slapping people for no reason.
We got
But it was so necessary for us as consumers at that time. I wonder if you guys even, maybe you do, but I think for us, one thing you'll never experience is us watching you guys on stage.
Yeah.
It is an incredible experience to watch you boys on stage, because I can just tell you guys are free. You're not thinking about anything up there, but it is as fans, it is the best. But I always wondered at that time, did you guys know what you were doing?
No way. It was just back then it was just like we were just creating, man. No expectation, no sort of like feel of like we need to make a hit. We need something for radio. We're just expressing ourselves like just freely, and it was just coming out. It was just translating like that. Like, yeah, that was a crazy time. I do feel like there's like a number of factors too in terms of we had Andy Manane, he was in the picture. And it sort of was the first time where someone outside of our group or our friend circle was kind of giving us game or sort of guiding us.
Yeah.
And so we could just totally be free in terms of the creative. And then it was just like someone in the back end just like sorting everything and organizing everything, you know what I mean? And yeah, that was a crazy time, man. That was all new. Like that was that was a crazy time for us.
and like going back to like making those kind of songs too, it's like you don't realize it at the time. And that it could be a room like this, and we could have made like a conquer like song, and it's crazy up in here. We're not even thinking
What's to
what
come.
the reaction's gonna be, because we're in that moment, and that moment is just about having fun, all the energy in there. And then once it's like, I guess once we're happy with it, then and it's out and it's everyone else's now. It's not just ours, and then everyone can share that, you know, energy that went into the song.
100. Like, can we just quickly talk about that Conquer song? Like the DBZ, like Dragon Ball Z sample. Like, how did that come about? Like,
oh, bro, that was solid. Like,
we went to an Airbnb for a week just to create, just us isolated, vibing. It was during the time when that episode had aired. Yeah. And so I think it was Mal.
Oh, Mal.
Yeah. Jamal originally he cut the beat up and all that, but it just wasn't slapping. You know how we knew it could slap. Pause. And then Smoke came in. Smoke came in.
We had a counter going.
Pause now. Smoke came in, and then he pretty much just like put it together, and it was just like bang. I don't know. It was me. I think it was me and Smoke vibing. I don't know what these dudes were doing at the time, but it was late, and then it was just like they're mad at the confidence. We sing
That
was
on the couch.
how fast did that line come? Like,
that was fast. Like honestly, I wrote.
Hey, yo.
No, like the
Man setting me up. No,
did that hook kind of right? Was it?
nah. It just like that all came together real quick. We're just like even the hook, the verse. It's like bam, half an hour pretty much.
Yeah,
got that done, and then these dudes vibed and did it. But it was just like it's hard to explain, bro. But it's like when you're in that flow state, it's just like things are just appearing at the right time, and you're not thinking too much, and it's just like bam, bam, bam. That's my favorite state to be in creating, because some of the best music we've ever made has been in that state where it's like not sitting on a verse for weeks.
What's your favorite bar? Because that's immediately that's legendary. They mad at the confidence. We some young Polynesians. That was
Are we
the
even allowed to
problem is.
ask rappers what their favorite bar is? Sorry, we don't know.
Yeah, it's like your favorite kid. You like, is it the same? Who's your favorite?
What's your
You
favorite bar?
don't have to answer that, but
I don't really know. I never really thought about it, to be honest.
What's your guys' favorite bar? If you know any, I don't want to put you guys on the spot or anything, but like if you can think of any off the top.
honestly, like we've
can't,
been
that's
talking
okay.
about Conquer, but I felt like that was like spiritual for me.
Yeah.
Like even like getting young. It's like the littlest words. We some young Polynesians. That brings like that kind of felt like that's our moment now. Like because that's how we feel. And like the OGs did what they did and they gave us that music. But I felt like it was kind of like, well, what are we doing? What are we up to? And even the references to like Pacific Islanders, all that stuff. Like and I feel like that's so the amazing thing about this duo is like I always feel you always come in and you punch Spike, and then I'm like, I don't know if that can be top. And then anyone, you come in, you have a completely different way of punching and like and saying what you say, and it's just like it's just incredible. And I know that we're gonna talk about new music, and that's why we're kind of on the show. But I don't know if we were really allowed to reveal all the plays, but like it is New Zealand Music Month today. Is that still a thing or?
Nah, to be honest, like I feel like me as an artist and a fan, New Zealand Music Month is I feel like there's not that much investment into it. It's kind of tokenistic now, and for us it was kind of like we've got all this music that we've been creating, for the last 4 or 5 years, and it was like you get a bit precious about it. And I guess you get into this sort of the space where you sort of become perfectionist, and nothing is ever hitting, your expectation of what it should sound like or what it should be. And it's fire, mind you, it's fire. It's just us. And so I guess we're just kind of like, man, it's been too long. We've got all this music. We need to put it out. And then it was like New Zealand Music Month was coming up, and it was like, man, why don't we rebrand it as SWIDT Music Month?
Come on now.
You know what I mean? SWIDT Music Month.
I'm here for it.
We're kind of
And
we do that a lot, eh? We like to take things and just make it our own.
Make it our own.
Any flyer we're on, we're like, oh no, change the font of our name to like our own logo, like stuff
Like,
like,
we
that.
have
to,
You know,
Like all the like festival lineups, you know what I mean? That's all the same font. Nah, get Bryson to edit our logo
Bryson,
into it, bro.
the goat,
Yeah.
bro.
It's on
Shout
some
out
narcissistic
Bryson.
stuff, but we gotta stand out, eh? But yeah, it was just kind of like for us, there's so many different formulas and ways of delivering music to the fans. real cookie cutter type stuff. You know, they put up the artwork with the date. Maybe they put up a
Even we know the rollout now.
yeah, facts, bro. Like even like they put up like a snippet of the video. This many comments and we'll drop it. It's like, Doko, you're gonna drop it anyway. You know what I mean? But it's just it's part of that fan engagement type thing. But I feel like considering the time we're in, you know, it's a real TikTok generation. Everything is like going to like short format. Even songs have shortened. No more third verses. We're just like this would sort of sit in that space perfectly for modern day, you know, consumption of content.
100%.
Where we just so yeah, basically we're just gonna drop a song every second day. There's gonna be music videos. There's gonna be
for the whole
merch
month.
For the whole month.
You got music videos for everyone?
Woo
Maybe
Boys
maybe.
been cooking.
For the music
did-
month.
But we've been active, like yeah. It's just gonna, oh, you go, bro. I
No.
don't wanna cut you
I love that because I do want to keep talking about this, but I do want to play out a song.
off.
And
Are we playing out a song?
Because this is the show, I want to play out the whole song. So
All right.
let's sit
Are
on
we
the
playing the
pocket.
song out? Right?
Yeah, we're playing. We got.
I ain't heard it,
Come
fam.
on.
I ain't heard it,
Come to
fam.
the morning shift and not get the exclusive. So this song is called
Unreleased.
Swish. We're not cutting it short. We're gonna enjoy it. Let's sit in the moment. This is unreleased music from SWIDT. First time you're ever gonna hear it, right here.
Ooh. Like listening to seeing how cool you guys are. It's just you guys are the
feel
Come on, bro.
bro, the dopest thing going around, bro. That's incredible.
What? That song get over 3 minutes 30, 40? Surely.
I think it's like 5 minutes.
Come on. Give
Come
it
on,
5-minute songs.
Yeah.
Shout out to the sister who's
A girl
Ego.
Oh,
Oh, Ego.
from out of Sydney. Yeah,
dope.
That was.
she's a dope artist. She's crazy.
why now is what I'm thinking, because you guys moved to the beat of your own drum and that's one thing that's incredible. You don't oversaturate the market. It always feels like when we're ready, when we think the product is good. But you could have done this next year. You could have done this at a different time. Why right now?
I feel like I just feel like there's no better time than now. You know, we've been saying next year. We've been doing all that. You know what I mean? This was a kind of a moment where we had to check ourselves and be like, nah, just run it, put it out there. You know what I mean? And you know, in terms of our creative process, like we back our art. Like we're not like in there trying to create something for radio. We're just making good music. We're making what we're into, what we love, and if you love it, you love it. If you don't, you don't. But you know, there's a bit of like across all the songs that we're about to drop, there's something for everyone. 100%.
That song, like it just feels good. The production, you know, the content, where you going with it.
Switch up.
It's still music just buzzes me out at the moment a little bit, and I'm only like 33. We're probably all getting to that age, but I feel like an old head already.
Yeah.
Sometimes like, what the heck's going on? But it's just it's so nice to hear you guys just talk about, you know, it's what feels good. What are some of the content matter we can expect on these songs rolling out for this month?
I feel like there's like, you know, confidence, bravado.
Why do you think it's important to talk about confidence for us? 'Cause
But I feel like
interesting topic for poly.
I feel like for our people, you know, humility is a real big thing, and there's a place for it. Of course, there's a place for it. But I feel like, in terms of trying to excel beyond the status quo or doing beyond what those around you are doing, sometimes it can hinder us. It can hinder the way in we receive affirmations, compliments. It can hinder the way in we view ourselves. And I feel like for us, it was like important for us. Like I know some people, they might be like, oh, these dudes are cocky. They think they're all that. But it's really like, we're just backing ourselves. We're proud of ourselves. We're confident in our ability to deliver, you know, our God-given gifts. And it's like the fact for people to, you know, sort of shun us for that, it's kind of just reflective of where they're sitting. You know what I mean? And I just kind of like, we just wanted to normalize it. Like if you know us, we're not like
100%,
out the gate cocky all the time on nothing. We're just regular dudes, you know, from Onehunga. But yeah, it's just important to. I felt like it was important to sort of cement that out there, and I feel like we did. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we did.
Like, man,
I feel like I rubbed off.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Straight up, I'm just tired of hearing this like same old like these is a cocky. Like I'm tired of hearing people like shorten or put a limit to how great you can be as a person for anybody. Like imagine trying to be the best at what you can do, but there's always like a group of people who are like, oh yeah, nah, that's all right.
100.
Like I mean, that's cool, but you're not gonna go far, or you're not gonna do this. Like always trying to put a limit on you when really it's just themselves. Like I say this to myself all the time: life ain't a bitch, life is a mirror. 'Cause it's just a reflection of who you are, and then you're out here just like putting all that energy on people trying to be great. Like we're just trying to spread, you know, positive
100.
vibes.
100.
positive messages to people who feel that way, like feel like they can't be as great as they can be because of their economy of friendships
Yeah.
around them, you know, their group.
Such a good word, economy. So, right. 'Cause that's where your value.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the people around you are probably not good role models for you to be around, and you're taking on their energy, that kind of mindset that they're putting on you, and then you're going on like on social media or whatever, leaving negative comments only because your mates are telling you that you can't do that, and now you're on someone else's thing going, that sucks. Or, you know? So, you know, we're just trying to be the best versions that we can be, just so someone out there is like, damn, I want to be the best version of myself when they hear our music or see us out in public or whatever.
See, just to carry on from what you're saying, like, you know how sports are competitive, eh? Like, if you're a fan of like the NBA, the NFL, all of that, it's like each player, like in those teams, they're backing themselves like, I'm the best in the world. You can't see me.
And we love it.
We love that, you know what I mean? And in our sports, it's not so much. Everyone's humble, like, you know, oh, you killed us, like, oh, you know, full credit to the boys,
Jack.
full credit to the team and all that kind of stuff. But like, one person that I always see who has that energy is Rico, Ioane. And I see it in her, bro. I'm like, it makes me happy, bro, when I see him do that. And then the Herald straight away, you know,
And he stands on that too.
bro, they're tearing him,
Yeah,
they're tearing him down for doing that. And I'm like, bro, that's the sport, man. Like, you know, yeah, I just feel like, man, don't worry about what everyone else says. Don't worry about all the noise. Just back yourself. If it makes you happy, and it's not hurting anyone else, go handies on it.
I
you
don't.
know?
I think about it all the time, bro. Like, and I don't know. This is what someone needs to do their masters on or something. Like, can someone give us some gems on like why that is? Like, why
Psychology
do we
behind it
really?
and that?
Why do we really struggle to like to show up for ourselves or to be seen or like to put ourselves out there? Because you know the example you just used, we love it in American sports. We love it in other cultures. We like we prop it up and we gas it up. We bid on it.
Bet on
We
it,
put it
everything.
on our screensaver.
Yeah.
We allow it to give us inspiration, but in this context, like when we see, and I don't know if is it you know that we're more village people, is it, but stuff all that, you know what I mean? Like it, I don't know where I'm even going with this, but I do wonder
I
like
know what you're saying,
why is it, you know? It's but I mean I guess it's for people like you to create the art, right? It's for people to you that have the confidence that can take the hits and say, that's cool. Like, you know, we're still going to have this to say. What else can we expect on the album? Other content?
Vulnerability. Always got to put that in there, eh? You know, especially for our people, eh? Our males out here.
Can I just
suicide rates, like all of that stuff, you know?
100. Can I ask you about that? Like, because I feel like vulnerability is like, it's not a concept. I feel like it's a new concept. Like, I remember growing up, I didn't really feel like I heard it. Now it almost feels like a buzzword.
Facts.
For you guys specifically, like what do you think vulnerability is? Like what makes you guys vulnerable? And how do you know when, because I feel like a lot of people know what it sounds like, know how to get it out there, but it might not necessarily be that.
Well, to me, it just feels like safe to be, to express your emotions and how you feel with people around you. Like sometimes I'll say how I feel around strangers, but I don't even care because it's just like makes me feel good to acknowledge how I feel.
I feel like sometimes everybody's almost got like a filter on, eh? You know what I mean? Like in real life, and I feel like IG filter, but I feel it's anything that yourself would deem to be sort of weak. I feel like that's sort of being vulnerable. Being able to be your true, authentic self and express your emotions in all its rawness, without the fear of any, you know, judgment or ridicule. and I feel like it's empowering. You know what I mean? Like I remember my dog, he passed recently. It was the first time having a pet. You know, and it was the first time having a pet, and it was like he was sick. He was old. He lives to be 16. Like that's ancient in dog years. But he was like sickly, and you know we took him to the vet and all that, and it was kind of like, oh, he's quite old. We don't know what's wrong. It's gonna cost thousands of dollars to assess him, and then we can see it, and then so we're just kind of like, nah, let's just we'll get him euthanized because he was in pain. So that night, you know, we slept with him in the lounge. It was just honestly, it was straight like Butu styles, like Tongan styles, bro. Like all in the lounge, sleeping with him, and then moments before the lady came to euthanize him, it was like boom, and like you know me, I'm still navigating my own vulnerabilities. You know what I mean, in a public setting.
Totally.
And bro, I just started crying, and cause like my kids were present, I felt they can't see me cry. I'm the, you know, I'm the dad. I'm the, you know, the man, the head of the family sort of situation. And I was like, damn. And I left the room. And then in that moment, like I was crying. Like I haven't cried like that since my grandma passed, and I was 14. Because I didn't expect to feel that way about a dog, but it's because I was never really like a pet person. And then I just, you know, you realize that they're just a part of the family as much as a human is, you know what I mean? And so I remember being in the room, like trying to like, you know, rub my eyes, sort of, you know, regather composure.
Yeah.
That sort of situation. And then I thought to myself, like, you know, I remember back to when my grandma passed, and I remember my uncle having a convo with me at the hospital, and he was like, you know, I've never cried in my life, even when your grandfather passed. And he's like, and even though, you know, Nina passed now, you know, I still won't cry. And I was like, this is like 2 a.m. Why are you telling me? Like, it's like also, there was no sort of thing to prompt that conversation. And I was like, why is he telling me that? And I could tell he was just trying to like strengthen himself in that moment by sort of projecting it onto me. And so I sort of felt like, damn, I got to carry myself like that. My uncle never cried. I looked up to him. He's a role model to me. I love him. That's how you do it. And that popped up in my head in that moment when I was crying in the room and that. And then I was like, nah, I'm going to cry. I'm going to just let the kids see me in that state, to see that they're vulnerable like that, to see that their dad actually cared about someone so much that he got into that space, you know?
Yeah.
And
that's okay.
my toxic masculinity kicked in again. I did go out there and I was crying and that, but I had my looks already. Hey, I was like, hey, I'm not all the way.
But I'm kind of here.
Are we getting somewhere?
The growth ain't all the way there yet, but hey, they can see me crying, they can see the tears coming up, but the looks is on. You know
I'm still
what
with you.
But it looks hard. It looks
It was a
hard.
buzzy thing for me because I was like, you know, that's your family and that, and I was like, felt protective of my, you know, their perception of me, and I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy.
And
It's all on growth, though.
And that's what I say, you know
I
what I
love
mean?
the Lokes chat too, because I feel like we need to be careful, and the point isn't to only be vulnerable all the
No.
time.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we also need to honor the fact that sometimes you don't let that tear drop because you got to carry on, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't always, I feel like sometimes we've kind of demonized men for shrugging it off a little bit, but in the right moment,
Yeah.
that's when vulnerability is magic.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so powerful, it's transcending.
Yeah.
And so, but I do, that's why I love that chat, because, you know, we could, they could see the stream, but they don't need to see the eyes.
Yeah. Facts.
Like, you know.
Yeah, I cracked up when I was thinking back to it. I was like, that man put his Lokes on.
How has that changed music? Like for you guys, because obviously when you were younger, and it wasn't even really that long ago. It's 8 years ago, but obviously times change, kids change. You're a little bit older now. How do you guys navigate these new waters with the art that Jordan was talking about, the art that you guys have, the God-given gift that you guys have as musicians, but times change, so the music's obviously gonna be a little different, right?
Yeah. I feel like it's just natural, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, we speak on our life experiences and what's going on with us, and it's reflected in the music. I feel like that's part of being a musician, is like the growth, the pitfalls, the rises, the highs, the lows. You know, sometimes you get some artists that's still rapping about the same thing they were rapping about like 20 years ago. And you know, because we live in a space where everyone's like,
It's quick.
and everyone's being like authentic and, you know, like being real and authentic is such a big thing in society now.
Totally.
All the facades, all the, you know, smoke and mirrors stuff, that's out the window now. No one cares about that. And I feel like me, like, you know, I'm still listening to Pusha T, like, you know, I love him. I love his music. But he's still rapping about, you know,
Selling
slanging-
drugs.
selling drugs, and it's like, brother,
He's
probably
a bitch to do
He's
it,
on,
though.
he's on the next generation now. The next generation is to that.
it's like, you haven't done the, you know, it's probably been like 30 years, but hey, what do I know, bro? I'm just a multi-award-winning artist.
I love that. Just quickly, last couple of things before we let you guys go. For us, bro, we, you know, the last probably our last interview, we were somewhere else, and we're trying to change with the times, and we're here now. In terms of like the music industry, like what's going on? Like as artists, what do you feel is going on? I just feel like it's so hard to be a music artist right now. Maybe coming into the game, kind of starting, like where do you get song play? You have to make a TikTok. How do you establish an audience? I think New Zealand's such a, to our own detriment, we're such a nostalgic audience. We don't want to give new music a chance. We don't want to hop on a new vision and an artist might have for themselves. Like I really like, we want to go to the same concert every summer. And it's no slight to the OGs that have come up.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a worrying state when I look at things.
Yeah.
What are your guys' actual thoughts about the industry and music?
I feel like things have changed dramatically. Like the power of the internet is crazy now. There's so many different platforms and avenues in which you can connect with artists that you never could before. You know what I mean? People are learning how to market themselves better, I feel. I guess when we were coming out, it was like everyone wanted to get signed. You know, everyone wanted to be signed to a major, and now it's kind of like you want to have ownership. You want to earn your masters. You want to. I feel like Nip always did it the best day in terms of building a foundation, building your brand up, creating value in your brand. Because in creating value in your brand, it gives you leverage. In terms of when you do sit at those tables and you try to negotiate stuff, it's like you went on the pitch and this is what I built, this is what I achieved, these are the numbers I hit.
Totally.
But yeah, I feel like in this day and age, you don't really need, like, you don't need a label. You know what I mean? You can
Do it all yourself, just from your bedroom, bro.
hit all the DSPs like Spotify, Apple. You can get like TuneCore and stuff like that. Just upload your music. They put it out on all those platforms. So it's like, really, all you're dealing with is like, you know, playlisting.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of connections and stuff like that.
You know that what you've just said scares the living daylight out of middle management, which is, you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole lot of people trying to justify their jobs right now in the radio industry, and they look at what we're doing, and I'm guessing it's the same with music. Like, you guys can create what we've just heard, and you don't need that middle management. You don't need that ownership over the top of you saying, you know, claiming the clout. That's basically what they do. They go, well, look at these talented people. I'm making them do this.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore in the future, which is scary for some people.
To be honest, bro, it's like what we're doing is the same as what you guys have done. You know what I mean? You guys have created your own lane, and like, look at what you guys have achieved. Like, you know, you guys went out like went out on a limb, and I was like, yo, let's take a risk. Let's back ourselves. Let's do something that hasn't really been done, you know, on this side of the world even. And bro, you know, it speaks for itself. Like, look how well you guys have done. And I feel like I love that shit. I love that energy. I love that. I love that, because like, you know, for the same with us, it's like, you know, no one's monitoring what we're creating. No one's dictating our sound. We own all our masters, the whole creative process, marketing. That's all fueled by us. Like, we control that, and you know, it's empowering. Sometimes maybe you might not have the industry connections to do certain things, but I feel like, you know, if you look at the numbers, you look at what we've achieved and what we've done in our time being in the game on our own, it speaks for itself, you know.
Facts. And I think, like, not to make similarities with you guys, but like, that's what we recognized, and why we came in, why we think it's worked, is because we understood where we were. People weren't being treated like they were smart or intelligent, or like they had different things they wanted to express, like, or they could listen to something and hear themselves, the funnies, the thought-provoking. And that's like, I feel like that's what's awesome about your music is you're gonna have the conquers, but then you're gonna say, well, here's something I haven't like told anyone, or it's okay to feel this, but it's across the best production too, and the best beats. So yeah, we're huge fans of what you're doing here, and we're looking forward to this rollout every 2 days. Is it?
Yeah, every 2 days,
Boys
man.
been cooking.
You know, like we're fighting against algorithms as well, but the more and more the content is gonna come out. If you don't catch the first drop, you'll catch the second. It'll make you run back, the first drop, and
100%.
that's how we're rolling. We're just, straight innovative, guerrilla style, no rules, just doing what we want to do when we want to do it and how we want to do it.
Where do we catch them?
my God, I love that.
And every time one drops, where can we find it? Like, where is it going to be available?
Spotify, Apple,
All streaming services.
all streaming services, man. All streaming platforms. Follow us on Instagram, SWIDT Music, and look out for all the posts, all the skits, all the music, all the visuals, all the reels, all the carousels, all that lingo, all that jibber jabber.
Just before we wrap, I thought we got you a little bottle.
Oh,
Stop it,
Just to celebrate the 1 year. Because we're coming up here, like last night I was like, damn, what these guys have achieved is actually like, is just crazy. Because obviously we know your guys' origins, where you guys came from in the space, and then you guys leaving that space and then creating this is just amazing, bro. So yeah,
Bro, it's truly humbling. We look at you guys as superstars, bro. So this is.
We appreciate
I'll take that off your hands there, brother.
Shift Nation,
training and all that, but yeah.
Shift Nation, if you're already fans of SWIDT, please tap in the next month. They're about to give us a lot of music, and we've been waiting for it. We can't wait. If you don't know who they are,
Legends.
take our word for it. Amazing human beings who also happen to be rappers. Check it out, SWIDT. Love it.
Swrr.